Okay, I think it's on. I'm not sure though. Let me see. Check. Acts 17 apologetics, but nothing from Casalala. Oh, here we go. Okay. So, hi. It's been a long time. I'm here alone. So I am going to wait for a second. I just checked my account, my Casalala account, and it's been quite a while since I've been there. And well, I got a couple of messages from a couple of people that are like, where have you been? It's been 2 months. It's been 3 months. It's been 4 months. Where have you been? It's been half a year. So yeah, it's been quite a while. And as you can see, or well, there's nobody here, but as the video is showing, I decided not to do a video. This is a hangout because quite frankly, it's easier. But as you can see, I'm not in Costa Rica. I am in Canada. And yeah, I'm back in Canada. And I've been here for 6 months. And there's just been so much going on. Is this not a nice fucking shirt? Look, right? So it's an Olympic shirt. Doink. It's like an official Olympic shirt. And, well, I saw it when I first got here. I came in flip-flops and I had one pair of leggings and it felt like December to me. And I went to see my dad, who was in the hospital, and he had this. And I'm like, fuck, where did you get that? Can I have that? And it had his name written in the back. And he's like, no, he's all paranoid. No, you can't have that. It's mine. I'm like, where'd you get it? So they gave him a whole bunch of clothes at the hospital, including this fine specimen. So a couple of weeks ago when he moved facilities, he like had 2 gifts for me, and this being one of them. And he's like, oh, you have to sneak it out of this place because it has my name on it. So I'm like, okay, Dad, I'll do that. So anyways, it is the beginning of a new year, and I was like dared last night, in fact, and a couple times before then, like, you won't do a hangout. I'm like, well, anyways, I'm here and I'm doing a hangout. So I wanted to show you this, and I wanted to sort of respond to those kind souls that left little messages on my very old videos asking me like, it's been months. Where have you been? So yes, now I have like 5 people here. And so you can see, obviously, some of you already know that I am not in Costa Rica. So yeah, it was a huge journey to get here. And at this point of the journey, I'm truly missing Costa Rica. Like, I've missed it all the way along, but oh, I'm truly missing it now. Because, like, partially, I need a hug from Patchies. And I miss Patchies a lot. I got all these pictures from her. It's so cute. And those of you that have seen Patchies in my video will be like, oh yeah, I remember that 3-legged beast. I wonder if you can even see it. Can you see it? This Patchies. Damn, she's cute. So yeah, Patchies. So it's kind of like heartbreaking not to be with her. So I'm in the process of trying to make plans, and sometimes I think like maybe one of you can help me make them. Like, you need to do this. I'm always looking for some sort of direction, like a lack of direction has always been present, like discipline, direction coming from an outside source. So, I mean, I can do it myself. And I guess that's the way life has always pointed me in the direction to be doing things myself. But, anyways, input is helpful. So, there's Terry. Yes, hee hee, ho ho, ha ha. Oh, nice shirt. Yes, thank you very much. It is quite lovely. So who else is here? There's 5 people. I feel like, okay, so here's a little story. And it could only happen in this day and age because imagine, like this would never have happened at any other time. Oh, that's nice. At any other time in history, and that I met a girl that I haven't seen since grade 4. So literally. So we've been in touch through Facebook. And so I sort of know who she is as an adult, kind of like through Facebook. And she's like, "Oh, you're in on the island. Like, let me come and see you." So she came here today. And it's funny, like people don't change. They really don't. Like pain and hardships and like suffering and time and all these things can change the character to a certain extent of a person, right? And I guess positive influence too, like extreme perfection in life, like when everything just goes perfectly, I guess that can affect a person's character as well. But you don't often come across that. So, yeah, so I just really noticed that people don't change. I mean, she wasn't even a fully developed human being when we were in grade 4. What is that? Grade 6 is, grade 1 is 6, grade 2 is 7, grade 3 is 8. So like we were 9. Like we're not fully formed humans at 9 years old. So, but she was the same. Like I don't know, she had the same energy. Anyways, I met her husband and she re-gifted a gift to me, which was unexpected because I didn't have a gift for her. I didn't know that she was coming, like a Christmas gift. So I want to show you this. It's quite nice. Look at my Canada shirt, you see? There we go. Okay. So I kind of want to tell you the story of why I'm in Canada, like what happened to Costa Rica. Why are you not in Costa Rica anymore? And it's like a long and sordid story. So I got for a plaid shirt with like a fuzzy interior on Christmas Day from the 2 daughters of a friend of mine. And this is a re-gift. And this is like a blanket scarf. And I was like, awesome, now I can be warm. And I've really taken to leg warmers. I'm like out of the 70s, really, like 20-minute workout, here I come, right? Like I want leg warmers, I want to wear leg warmers. I went to the discount place over there and for $5 each pair of leggings, I got 20 pair of leggings and I've been wearing them, that's it, nonstop. So with all these $5 leggings, I need leg warmers. So I have more leg warmers. Super stoked about that. When really, we would all prefer to be wearing bikinis, I'm sure. But whatever, I'm here. I'm here painting. The first 3 weeks I got here, it's kind of like not rushed coming here, but kind of rushed. Like I knew that I had to come. In fact, I've known that I had to come forever. In fact, the last video that I have not posted, in fact, in Costa Rica, I posted a bunch of videos not minding the one in Toronto. So I still have Toronto videos that are so meaningful to me. And they actually, the one I got stuck on, I was like so super emotional, and it's all about like this full circle of where I'm at right now. So it's like to post those videos, like, do I go back and post these old videos that explain the current state? Or do I just say the past is the past, that's unimportant to the narrative that's important to relay right now? And maybe as I'm saying this, that kind of makes more sense. But when I do view the older videos, I'm like, fuck, like they're like, that's it, I knew it. And here I am. And like, yeah. So anyways, I'm not supposed to say anyways anymore because it sounds ignorant. My friend pointed that out to me. Thank you very much. I'm trying to careful of my vocabulary. So I should say in any event or anyhow or anyway, but not anyways. So works as well. So I got here with no clothing. My father wouldn't give me this. I come up here, which is about 2.5 hours from the hospital on the island, which is in Victoria. And I come up here to this little beach condo, and what you see is not what there was. There was boxes to the ceiling. And I think that I did a couple of hangouts while I was unboxing. And I don't think they still exist on my channel. So that was a 3-week process, just figuring out like where the back door is. And then as I have power of attorney, then it's all like the legal information. I have a half sister. And the reason why I started doing all that like spiritual videos, the daily thoughtful videos, was because I wanted to make a connection to her because she's all like Tao and bougie and like bourgeoisie and like has lots of money and is really spiritual, and like so I wanted to speak to her in her spiritual language, the language of Tao, the language of Buddha, the language of Tao, you know, Confucius and all that stuff. So, but she didn't, she wasn't interested. So she kind of made this whole situation with our sharing father a challenge. And she really wanted everything just to go public guardian, walk away, his lifetime of artwork literally put in the garbage. So possible, right? Because that's like every artist's thought. Like, how meaningless is this? Can I contribute anything less meaningful as far as what's utilitarian? So they have to create their own meaning and then hope that other people are going to find meaning in it as well. It's a weird process, making art. So I just have a different kind of compassion than my sister has, I guess. And I guess, you know, she has built a lot. So when you build a lot, you can't just walk away from it and help another existence, another whole situation, because you have to maintain the lot that you have. I built a lot in Costa Rica, but I still have the get up and go, the transient values, the lack of security. No, that's not the right word. The lack of, I mean, I guess it's the right word, but consistency. Thank you very much. Thank you. Consistency. So I have the lack of that. Like, I feel like if the wind blows and love is in that direction, it fills my heart, I can go there. So I have. And even though I had a 2-week trip and I left everything like laundry in the bin, like I'll be back in 2 weeks. And then it's been like months. It's been half a year. And I don't have a flight back. So there's been these major challenges. Challenges, mind you, that I thought think still that they're miracles to get over. Like you can't just, and there's been a couple times in my life where it's like, you know what, there's the limit. You saw it, there it is, you know, realism, Lelania, you're a realist. And then it turns out, yeah, like some fucking, I don't know, can you call it? A miracle happens. With lack of better language. And I'm able to pull out a idea, a dream, really, out of thin air. So I'm working on this thin air. It's not really thin air because nothing comes really out of thin air. There's contributing thinness to the air that helps to make something. So like really it's a vacuum with some shit in there. No, I shouldn't call it shit because it's miracles. Like some wonderful things happen. And I got in contact with some wonderful people, really, and some very unusual situations. Situations that I've been in before, but like in a parallel way. Not obviously exactly the same as this, but it's funny how life makes like circles, loops in a way. And some of those loops, like you don't want to continue them, you want to like break cycles. And then some loops, you're like, coincidence, like, oh, I'm supposed to be here. Or, oh, this makes sense, right? So, so it felt like that. It feels like that, kind of. Like you, it's like happiness. Like I don't know. I guess people can feel it like a constant existence in a descriptive word in their daily life, and I think that that's just wonderful. Oh, there's Terry still here. Hi, Terry. But, you know, pretty much a lot of people experience happiness like in these moments where you can grab it. So I have like really had some grabbing moments. And then things settle and change again, right? Where realities set in or dynamics change. So anyways, there's my anyways. Can somebody stop me from saying that? I feel like I need to like listen to some music and dance like as if I was in a bikini in my home in Costa Rica in front of the toilet and getting cuddles from my doggy. And we can talk more because I know that's kind of cryptic. We can talk more about like what that miracle is. Can we contribute it to like a higher force? Because I always wonder like when good that you do comes to fruition, because you know there's always known to like karma, oh they'll get it because of karma. It's like no, they won't, because it would work both ways, but maybe it does work both ways. It's hard to tell. I guess it's whatever you want to read into it. But I do want to get further into the reason why I'm here and the decisions that I have. Like, you know, quite frankly, the world's, you know, probably going to end in 5 years. I mean, there's a lot working against us. I know Jay can't stand me playing with my hair. He thinks it's disgusting. And yes, as far as like this little community that I've known on this platform, I haven't spoken to Carlos in a long time. And jeepers, do I miss him too? So that's been a big change, because for the past 5 years in Costa Rica, good or bad, my real communication to the outside world, no, I can't say that, to the virtual world is has been Carlos and my dad, because I spoke to him every night. And so I don't have that anymore, either one of those two comfortable communicative habits. And so you miss people when they're not around and you're used to them. So that's been a huge adjustment, of course. So being in a new place, in a new country, with all new clothes on, doing new things, meeting new people, and not having anything, not even like the regular humans that you're in contact with, like being around to just say, hey. A huge, amazing thing, I think, in life is this idea of participation. You know, I am in BC. Hold that idea of participation. I'm just going to put a P in here so I can remember participation. Because I'm in BC, and so I have partaked in some of the finest growth that there is. And right now, I could use something to drink. So this girl that I haven't seen since grade 4, who gave me the hat and the scarf over here. She also gave me a bottle of white wine that had been opened and it was leaking in the car. So I'm going to go down and have my first drink of the year with you people. And hopefully we can have some fun for an hour or so. And I can have a drink and tell you this P participation desired daily, other conversation, because I'm talking to myself here, so I need like inspiration. There's only so many things that you should actually say online. You know what I mean? So, I'd like to say everything. I could honestly be like, I don't know if you people that are watching know Trisha Paytas, but I've been watching her for years, and she's quite candid in her daily life vlogs. And I know lots of people think she's disgusting, but I think she's wonderful. And I would have no problem disclosing every single thing. But I don't know. I'm not like that interested in myself on a daily basis. You have to be kind of like really narcissistic. And maybe if I was younger, like I'd look at myself and go, okay, not bad. And now I look at myself and go, holy fuck, that's scary. In fact, in the 6 months that I've been here, I've noticed this whole physical process happening. And it's things that nobody wants to hear about. But I do have, they're not blonde streaks like from the sun. And I am not seeing things like I once did. So I'm going to go get myself a fuzzy glass of wine that my friend gave me. And we're going to have like this little intermission. Maybe I should put on some music. And I'm hoping that like somebody wants to like, I don't know, contribute the whole participation thing. So let me see here. All right, so that's good. Is anybody else saying anything? I want to tell the story, like, since I've been here. I will put up some videos, I should, right? But I just kind of feel like doing this right now. So next thing I'm going to do is, put on some music. And so on my Facebook page, I reposted a video today for the new year. I don't really post that much, but sometimes something strikes me as funny. And this sure did. So this will probably demonetize anything that I'd ever hoped for. We should talk about Patreon too. Free speech. That's my most interest on this platform, is the whole free speech topic. Anyways, can you hear that?
Some cheap ass wine. Okay, I think that's enough torture. Truly. That was fun. All right. Looks like you're in the Great White North. Yeah, that's where I am. Whew. You know, I can like strip right now from all that dancing. That's a good way to warm up. I've been using this a lot. But dancing is better. Mucho mejor. Yes, I'm here. Unexpectedly, expectedly. You see, back when I was in Toronto, I was like, okay, I'm sorting things here, but I got an issue, and that's my father on the other side of this vast country, which is Canada. And it's actually as far from here to Toronto as it is from Toronto to Costa Rica. So it's like, you know, it's a journey, and I knew that I had to make it. And of course, for the past 10 years, I've been earning third world income. So I was like, okay, how is this gonna all happen? And sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes things just happen. So things happened in March, and it took me until June 7th, I got here in order to get here. And I'm on my own in order to take power of attorney and address basically $100,000 worth of debt in order to save any equity in my father's like condo here on the beach. And so like, yeah, how's that going to happen? So the banks are going to come and they're going to take this place because these are this is debt, $100,000 worth of credit card debt, 10 different credit cards. So I've got 10 different credit cards hounding me saying, you haven't paid in 6 months. So we've sent to collections and you owe the whole thing. And if you don't, we'll like lien the property, right? So in that case, this place was purchased 20 years ago for $85,000. And it's worth $300,000 now, right? The market, right? That's unbelievable what's going on. That's always, we have 5 years left because there's just compiled. An old guy told me that. I'm like, oh, that's so pessimistic. So anyways, he managed to remortgage it, like refinance it 3 different times. So now the mortgage is 170. So he's got it mortgaged for 170. The thing is worth 270 to 300. So basically, he's got $100,000 in, but he owes the credit cards 100,000. So there's nothing here. Speaking to curators, friends of my father who's followed his artwork through the 50 years of his life, his career life. So Canadian heritage artists keep record of important works and times during the development of art, and the Isaacs Gallery was one of them in Toronto in the 60s, pushing forward contemporary art and the narrative of what art at that time was. And it had been refined to a point that doesn't exist anymore, and it will never exist. So we live in a different market, and art is viewed differently. Things are, obviously consumed and disposed. And we don't have the collectability. We don't have the space for it. We don't have the time for it. We're all trying to just survive over here, right? So yeah, the art world has changed. It's just about a different thing. So where's the market? The past 15 years, he hasn't been pushing anything on auctions. So obviously, he's got piled to the ceiling boxes of artwork and all kinds of things. So I have a Franco Clemente here. I have some Picassos. I have some Saul Strasberg. I have a book that's The Naked Dead that on eBay fetches $650 with the jacket. I have, some books from the 1500s, the 1400s. They look like they're falling apart, but apparently one's called the Cosmos and it's supposed to be worth something. So all these things can be dealt with on eBay. And in fact, Carlos was helping me on that because he's such an expert, but he disappeared. So amongst work and everything else, I'm kind of fumbling my way through that. Plus, there's a whole bunch of furniture, which is not exactly the easiest thing to sell on eBay. But I have it on Craigslist and some other ideas that I need to go forward. But other than the furniture, the most space-taking items in here are the mirrors. So the mirrors have been shown back in the 60s at the Isaac Gallery, and then again in the 80s at the Olga Cooper Gallery. And it was supposed to be sort of a rehash and rendition of what happened in the 60s. It was part of an installation at the Isaacs Gallery where they were showing, and so it was before digital art. So basically these mirrors are blown glass, and some are concave and some are convex, and they have a silver coating on the back of them. So they're like funhouse mirrors, really. But they were meant to take photographs into and thus distorting the image in front of it. And so as you move around the mirror, of course, the distortion changes and the photograph can alter in that respect. So it was used as a tool in order to make artistic photography, analog style, before the digital. Now we take digital and we could just swipe a screen and the whole image gets distorted. But this was unique in its day. So there's 8 of them. They're massive. They're like a meter, 120 centimeters ish in diameter. So they're quite large because they're concave and convex. They take up some depth, and also they're fucking fragile, like they're glass. So they've been sitting in these crates for the past 20 years downstairs, literally in these like wooden international style shipping crates. And I spoke to the Canadian National Gallery, the Greater Victoria, the Vancouver Gallery, Carleton University, Guelph, Hamilton, like all his old contacts. And none of these places really have room to archive this type of work, even for donations. So, and I'm happy to do donations, and they wanted to do donations, but I just want to recover money. I think that that's the most important thing at this point. If they can fetch some funds towards his $100,000 debt, then that would be great. So I'm addressing all these issues, and I'm missing my garden, and I'm missing growing natural food. I got to tell you, when you eat naturally grown food, whoa, it makes such a fucking difference. Like, really. And I've been eating all my favorite Canadian junk. I eat salt and vinegar chips every fucking day, or dill pickle. I'm kind of like into dill pickle. In fact, I'm smelling it right now because you guys know Kernels. It's like a chain that has a kiosk in lots of malls where you can buy popcorn flavored all these different ways. Well, I found this in the grocery store aisle. I took off the label, but it said Kernels dill pickle. So this is, it's so fuerte, so strong, and it's so bad for you. It's all MSG, I'm sure, but it's powdered pickle flavoring. It's fucking amazing. So I'm really stoked about that. Being in Canada, I get to have all the worst foods brought back to me again. I'm like enjoying bacon. I'm enjoying, bring it, right? So, you know, I miss, like, cabbage is all I can afford for the next 3 days. So I like to suffer, that's clear. So does anybody want to say anything to me? I'm in BC. Sorry to hear you're having to deal with this stuff. Oh, yes. If there isn't one thing that I deal with, it's always another. Dill pickle chips are the freaking best ever, 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 ever. And I don't even care what brand, but there's one called Dutch Crunch. And even though I just like the dill pickle and not the sour cream, this has like dill pickle and sour cream as a combo. And I wouldn't normally like that because I don't want like the creaminess. I want like the sour bite, but it works and it's really fucking good. Now you're making me hungry for it. I have some downstairs. We could share some because it is the new year. So we can treat ourselves like that, I think. Okay, so AIU, it just put out another video, but I am in love with Devin and I want to know who else is. I think that that's like what I want to talk about, other than the participation thing, which is another topic, but the Patreon thing, that's the whole free speech thing. There's Devin exercising. Thank you very much, Devin. We all appreciate you. So part of that old community, there's this guy, hey, if you're watching, he's not watching, I'm sure, named Elmo. Some of you know him. So he, what was I saying? Patreon. Why did I bring him up? There was a reason. I don't know. Oh, yes, Devin, right? Because I'm watching one of his videos because I like to watch them when they first come out. And there's a fucking comment from him. And I'm like, oh. So here's my favorite YouTuber, and this guy's a fan too. So I'm like, oh, I can't believe you're a fan of this guy too. We have the same, we fan over the same person. What the fuck? And he's like, oh no, don't worry. I'm sure Devin doesn't fan over me. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm sure he doesn't. Oh my God, I'm glad we both recognize that. Anyways, that was a funny little thing. Blast from the past. Oh, so Baghead's buried in snow. Good for you. Well, if I was in Toronto, I would be like, yeah, I'm buried in snow too. I'm back in a place that I'm familiar with from my childhood. But this is like a damp ass cold with not a lot of snow. So, you know, Costa Rica's pretty fucking damp. And I'm used to it. So you think, oh, no, I'm used to this. But as soon as it gets cold like this, it's a new level of cold. It's not like a Toronto cold. It's not like a bitter cold. It's not like a slushy cold. This is like a to the fucking bone can never get warm. So I take like hot showers and I'm warm for a little while. And that's how it works. And then I'll wait again. Because when I got here in flip-flops and my one pair of leggings, it felt like December to me. And as it's gotten colder, it just keeps feeling like December to me. So I do know that I'm getting acclimated because right now it is December and it feels like December. So I figure when the summer comes, then I'll be like, oh, it's getting warmer. And I'm like, okay, I'm acclimated. Now I know what warm is here. But when I came in July, everybody's like, oh yeah, let's go swimming. I'm like, swimming? Are you kidding me?
You want me to freeze and get hypothermia and die? Yeah, it was pretty bad. You're like, you're wearing a parka. It's August, Lelania. I'm like, yeah, it's freezing. So that's kind of how it went. It's warm in here and I've got a couple layers on. So I'm still like, I love being warm. I love feeling my, muscles limber. And in Costa Rica, I'm always limber. And it's a beautiful feeling because I can stretch at any time that I feel like. And here, I'm like, fucking this all the fucking time. It's crazy. People want to live like this. So, anyways. So what's anyone saying? Like, come on. Does anybody want to come in here and chat with me? I'm going to share a link, see if anything happens. You never know. On Baghead, you can't come in, can you? You want to? Participation. So the new year, I like people to participate because my participating people kind of dissipated. The participation dissipated, basically. So I need to find new participation. And there's something about having regular folk in your life. Because when things happen in your life, then you can be like, oh yeah, this, this, and this. And they're like, yeah, I know, I remember last week. Like, of course this, and this, because that, and that happened last week. So I can understand exactly what you're talking about. But when you don't have participation, you're like, oh, this, and this happened this week. And they're like, really? Why? How? Oh, well, let me give you a little backstory. It's like, I'm sick of the fucking backstory. To be honest with you, I'm sick of the backstory. So here I am giving you guys a backstory because I've been gone for a year. And that's why I'm doing this hangout, because I want to edit a fucking backstory. But the backstory is relevant. So we need to tell the backstory. You know what I mean? My lips are, everything fucking is dry here too. That's an issue. Because in Costa Rica, it's not like that. So, lucky in a bunch of ways, right? Like the miracle I was talking about, lucky in a bunch of ways. Part of that enabled me to go to a drugstore so I could get drugstore things. And then I put my name in for like a Christmas basket, like 1,000 other people entered. And then I get a phone call like, oh, you've won the basket. Come in. So I got like $300 worth of cosmetics as a gift from Shoppers Drug Mart. Thank you. Salute. Right? I can't see if that says, no, I guess it says 6 or 8, 6. So yeah, the hair, the eyeballs, a skin fungus is possible. That happens. All kinds of changes to the environment. So it changes all kinds of different things. So ideally, I've had this sort of thought, this dream in my mind since basically since I was 17. From the first time I went to Costa Rica and I fell in love, I said, I'd really love to live in both places, like to be able to have a home in Costa Rica and a home in Canada. Well, to be honest with you, going back to Toronto in November was horrific. It's not the same city. So I'm riding the subway and women are walking around with their faces covered. This is not the same immigrants that I grew up with. It just has a different
much more unfriendly vibe. When I left, there was no Facebook, there was no smartphones, there was MySpace, there was AOL, but yeah, so everyone's looking down at their phone. It's just less friendly of a city. And I'm not so keen on like reestablishing Toronto. I was really established there, and to get my grounds back after a decade and a half, 2 decades, yeah, that's not gonna happen. So even though I have a lot of connections there, it's like, yeah, time to rethink that. When I discovered that in November, it was a slow breakdown of news while I was in Costa Rica as to how this was breaking down. The reality didn't set in until I actually got there and got to see for myself what's left. So here, it's beautiful. It's kind of like, well, it is. It's the rainforest of Canada, most beautiful trees. And I do, growing up in Toronto, there's nothing about city life that doesn't, or that does surprise me, or there's nothing in city life that's like, wow, that's so interesting, exciting. I mean, sure, you can go see a show, and there's lots of interesting, exciting things there, but there's something about the beauty of nature that has always held my interest. So there is nature here, and it's abundant. And so I could probably call this my home. Well, I could, so I'd like to. So how do I figure out how I can be so lucky as to have that kind of a dream where I can work in both places and live in both places? So if I'm here, really, my dream is to build cabinas in Costa Rica and have like little Airbnb, and I could run that online from anywhere that I am. So the best time of my life pretty much was when I like constructing and building things, relationships, items, clothing, architecture, artwork, whatever, right? Metal. So best time of my life was my biggest build, and that was the house. And I'd like to sort of redo that and build some cabinas on that property and turn it into an income property so that I could either have somebody manage the business, live in my house and manage the cabinas, or I could live there and manage them myself and make income that way. That would be a nice way to live there, because the $400 a month basically that I was able to make here and there while I was living there, on top of being able to rent out a couple of cabinas for $65 US a night, could really be helpful in changing my lifestyle down there, making it sort of less desperate and destitute the way I had felt so many times when I was so hungry that I couldn't eat. So I basically would love to figure out a way to be able to earn income while I'm here, or I could rent out this place. And apparently it's really hard to find rentals around here for a pretty penny, and go back to Costa Rica, and this place rent will cover the mortgage and the expenses so that it pays toward the $170,000 mortgage that's left on this place. But I can't leave or do anything until I get rid of this $100,000 worth of credit card debt from these 10 different credit cards. So it's a lot of fighting and a lot of time on back and forth over the phone. I spent 40 hours a month on the phone with TELUS. I had to spend another 5 hours on the phone with TELUS in order for them to compensate the 40 hours that I had already spent on hold speaking to various of their employees and agents. It's hard dealing with these corporations these days. Again, it wasn't like that when I left. Their efficiency has become so fucking inefficient. This is bureaucracy. So I'm taking it. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm going to get comfortable. We're going to hang out. Tell me your life story. Tell us you're like my new boyfriend. Like, we spend 5 hours every night just hanging out, talking to all kinds of people that TELUS. These are like my fucking peeps now. This is who I spend all my time with on the phone with TELUS. So like, they have to know we're like basically like, we're like kind of like together, like 40 hours a week.
That's a good amount of time, right? I'm like taking a shower, I'm cooking, I'm doing all kinds of things. I'm like still on the phone with Telus all evening. You know, we're like dating for sure. I mean, that's the minimal that you can call. It's pretty private when you know, we're hanging out all of my evening, you know, routine. So that was interesting. I got 2 months compensation for that. It's worth like $200. Mm, I don't really like alcohol, but I'm definitely feeling it. So tell me, what do you people think? You've stopped wearing makeup? Oh, well, me too. Is that a hint? Should I be putting makeup on? Do you think it would be more presentable? Should I be putting makeup on? I could. And I probably, you know, I want to put like sparklies in the corner and some eyelashes and some thing here and do the thing and the thing. Get some Botox and fill my lips up and get the do. And then I'd be like an LA YouTuber. So I want to know who the 6 people are watching. Say your name or forever hold your peace. That's a threat if you haven't heard one, right? Ooh, well, I'll be peaceful. Nice. I'm gonna say nice. Let's do something tomorrow. Because I would love that. Comma. I haven't done anything in days. Because I've been feeling odd. Lots has happened. Some probably more personal than I should probably discuss right here. I mean, not that I wouldn't want to discuss them, but they involve other people and maybe they don't want it. In the day? In the daylight? Okay. So I have gone around this whole place. I don't know why, but they put on this like ugly veneer trim on everything. And then they put little finishing nails and then didn't do anything. So there's like little finishing nails everywhere. So I knocked them all in and then I polyfilled, like I filled the little holes. So there's like white leopard spots on everything where I've sanded. Where I've not sanded, there's more than leopard spots. But still, spots everywhere of what I have to do. And I siliconed everything, which helped with the cold that was coming in. And now I have to paint trim. So I'm going to prime everything. And I got this paint that's like $500 a tin. Top of the line. Somebody's knocking on my door downstairs. Hey. Oh, that's so nice. Isn't that pretty? It's beautiful. I was working tonight and okay, so I love it. It's beautiful. Thank you. You too. Oh my goodness. Okay, a neighbor just came by with this. with this little plant. And you know, this is one of the biggest poinsettias I've ever seen. Is it a poinsettia? I think it's a poinsettia. Is it a poinsettia? Anyways, there's me with the anyways again. Yes, Mark, I know what your freaking name is. Mm. So isn't it beautiful? So that's unexpected. I'm like, oh, I think that somebody's like, I don't know, come to my door, you know, to harass me or something. But no, they've just come for this. It's so lovely. So where should I put it? This is my third present of the holidays. What can I do with this? Just put it there. Looks lovely. So Merry Christmas to y'all. And Happy New Year. The guys are back to work tomorrow, so it's back to the grind for me too. Oh, that sucks. Well, if you want to go, can you still take me at 5? Can we get together earlier? That would be. Can we still get there by 5? Can we get together earlier? Or like, so this is so rude. I can't help it. This is like what people do these days, right? I don't know. Sorry, it's rude. I shouldn't do that. I apologize. Put it where cats can get into it. Okay. So what are you guys doing? Somebody want to come in? Yes, what's the address where we're going? Oh, fuck. Now I gotta find that. I'll find it. I'll find the address in Lanceville. Funny name, right? In BC. I think that's it. I can't see why it wouldn't be. Seven, 1, 8, 6. Sorry about this, people. So rude, I know. It has to be done. All right. So, yeah, I was going to continue my story about me papa and what I'm dealing with. So there was Capital One, there was CBIC, there was MBNA, which I think TD bought out, Royal Scotia, and what was the other one? I have to look. And then plus there was, of course, Rogers and Shaw and TELUS, and he had a storage space that needed to be paid
the past 5 months, and I needed to get there, get all stuff out of storage and bring it here, create space for it to come here first. So it's just been like a lot of stuff. So it's actually a miracle that half of that debt, 50,000, in 6 months, I've been able to cancel. So now I only have 1.5 banks left, and the half, I say half because I'm underway dealing with them right now. So basically it's me fighting on the phone with the banks in order to reduce a closing cancel amount. Once I have that reduce and close and cancel amount, some of them have given me terms and some of them have required a quick payoff. So Baghead will come in. Okay. Well, let's see how I do this. I can copy that. I need to eat something. I should bring you guys downstairs and we should make some food. You can see what I eat, Canadian style. Oh, I have to go. I've got something in my eye. I always have stuff in my eye. So right now I've been painting. I've been painting homes, painting industrial sites, painting new construction. It blows my mind. Yes, of course, I am probably like the oldest and the most feminine on the site. So that's interesting, to say the least. Mark, you're here. I've sent the link to you via FB. Tell me if that's sufficient. Okay. So I want to get rowdy. I want to get rambunctious. I want to dance again, to be honest with you. So let's take a break from all this talking shit that I know I need more practice. And I should get some dill pickle chips and put some music on, have a little dance. It's only appropriate for the new year. And then we can continue talking. We'll see if Baghead makes it in here. We'll see if he's able to add to the conversation. Hope you get back to Costa Rica. I'm behind on the videos watching now. Well, I'm glad to see you because I just finished writing you on my videos. And I was going to do like all these videos and publish them to lead up to this moment, but there's so much. It's overwhelming, all the stuff that's happened. So I just kind of want to go through it, and I'm sort of sifting like, what should I be telling and what shouldn't I be telling? But basically, I need to figure out if I'm here or if I'm going. And I don't know how everybody knows like the direction in life. And I think that if you have a direction in life, that you really find a path to success much quicker. And there's been times in my life where I've known exactly what I want and I went for it and I got it. And I have this like broad idea of like, oh, I'd like to be 50% of the time in Canada and 50% of the time in Costa Rica because I love Costa Rica so much. And Canada, I want it to provide some sort of security to my homeland, you know, to my country, to my free healthcare, to, you know what I mean? So I am faced with a lot of change this new year, and I've been so busy as to not spend the energy and time to, you know, edit and show all the things that I've been doing. So I will put out a few of them, especially the stuff that I was doing here in the summer when I was like discovering this place and figuring out where I was really. So I have some videos from then. I'm going to post those, but I think that whole like backtracking
anything to Toronto. I might put out a couple, but there's one in particular that I just got so stuck on. And I'm like crying through the whole thing, but it relays like all this pertinent information and really leads up to why I'm here right now. And so I'm really stuck on whether I should even air that. So I think maybe not, and just go forward. And actually, I just really thank you for, Michael Lipshock, for actually giving me like the encouragement to maybe voice this story. Part of the story too was that I was out of touch with my mother for years and years and years and years. And it wasn't the first time. So other times in my life have been years, but it was really the longest stint and the most difficult because there's the most distance between us, which totally changed since I've been here. And the timing is odd, not necessarily the best, but sometimes you don't get what you want and you get what you need. And I guess I needed that to a certain extent. We reconnected. It's the first time I saw her in 10 years. So that's a big fucking deal. And when you don't see your mom for 10 years and you see her again, it's like, whoa. So that happened. And there's like a whole bunch of like weird stuff that came along with that, as you can imagine or not. And so that's one of the things. But I think I need to drink more. And I definitely need to eat something because these stories are long and involved, but it's really like gorgeous here. And I really love to be in the rainforest, and what a lucky thing it would be to be in the rainforest in Canada and the rainforest in Costa Rica and be able to enjoy the best of both worlds, 50% of the year. So, but like, money, Lelania, how are you going to make money? So if I started this, when I started this, like 15 years ago, when I'm listening to Jenna Marbles swear for the first time back in 2009, probably before then. In any event, it was a smaller market then. Continue doing this every day. That would be your money. They're not going to let people come up that way anymore. No, siree, Bob. They're learning about the internet. And they're saying, oh, this is a process. We're watching. Oh my God, Jenna Marbles swore. What a cutting edge young woman. Oh, no. Now it's mainstream. Okay. So we've been watching this whole thing happen. So through my hibernation and my isolation, and yes, I know I'm an extrovert, but definitely not an introvert. But how does an extrovert be a hermit? Well, hi. So I'm in, like, what am I doing here? Like, meaning of life, what the fuck? Everything that I came is totally changed. So I have to find new meaning. Get on the internet. Oh, an atheist community. That's cool. And then watch it get blown apart with the whole gamers coming into it. And feminists saying, oh, but you have to be this if you're a good atheist. Where's your morality come from? Blah, blah, blah. Right? So that was like the whole beginning of finding roots here and then watching change and watching things, vocabulary, start off roots here, and then like it being said in mainstream and they're just getting it all wrong. And they're adopting vocabulary that's just not how it was originated. So yeah, I've always been a liberal, but you know what about me? I'm like, but I'm more conservative than liberal. Like, I'm not liberal with how I spend, and I'm not liberal with how I view conservation. So conservation is conservative, I think. Like, I like to be conservative with things. So how do I marry those two things? Well, you know what? Soon in the future, we're going to discover that you don't have to, because they're arbitrary.
lines in the sand of, "Hi, I'm a rich man. Are you a poor man? Would you like to fight a war for me?" So basically, what am I getting at here? Good question. Patreon. I'm getting at free speech. So we've watched this develop. We're like, oh, yes, it's so good. We have a platform that everybody can express how much of a fucking oddball they are. And I really appreciated the you in YouTube, and I appreciate it. And now I'm watching these you people turn into we people. I'm like, hey, okay, I can join that we-ness. I'm like, yeah, but if you weren't a you back then, you're not going to be a you and a we now. They're not going to let that rise come. So it takes me back to Prince. You know, Cream, little red Corvette. So he was like, yeah, Sony, I think it was Sony, right? Sony owes me. They own my fucking life. How do I get away from this company who I've signed my life away like the devil? I'm changing my name. It's now, can't say it. It's a fucking sign. So everyone has their ways. I'm sure that there's been others like, no, I'm committing suicide. Oh, well, Michael Jackson was going to say this and this about, no, he's dead now. Oh, were you going to say something? Oh, you're dead too. Okay, so this is the conspiracy. So that's been always controllable because the way to, get published, come up in the ranks of getting notoriety and being able to speak to a large group of people was really controlled by the media platforms back then. We didn't call them platforms, but the big guys in charge. And now with the internet, they're like, the big guys in charge are like, whoa, but this is not our narrative. We don't have control of this, and we're not deciding who's the next rising star. This is an issue. And so Adpocalypse came, and everybody's speaking a bunch of shit. And I had arguments with Carlos about this. I'm like, no, Carlos, it's not about the ads. I don't know why everybody's talking about the ads. These people are out of their mind, because if you think a company like Google, who just bought YouTube a couple of years back, from that point, right? If you think that Google is worried about some dollars coming from Dove and that they have an issue putting their video on top of a white supremacist video, that this is going to be a problem and this is why they're doing all this? Oh, no. No. This is not about ads and advertising. This Adpocalypse is bullshit. It's about a narrative that they don't want out in the spectrum of ideas. They don't mind you saying fuck, nigger, do this, do that. If you've got 500 subs, like, they don't care about you. They are not chasing anybody for these things. But if you make a lot of sense, oh, and also you can have a big following, but you don't really make enough sense. Like, you're not an intellect, you ain't saying anything smart, you're just a view whore, and you just are looking for views, you're more, commercially driven. Oh yeah, that's fine too. That's fine, because you ain't speaking to smart people. But as soon as you really have something to say on these platforms and you get a following, this is an issue. And this is a big issue. This has been an issue for a while. And so when they stopped InfoWars and called it fake news, and then they stopped Lauren Southern a year ago in February, and then Dave Rubin, Patreon said, yep, no need to be worried, we're fine. And even back in the day when the Adpocalypse happened, YouTube was promoting this company, saying, oh, well, if you have an issue, you can always use Patreon. So this was endorsed by Google. This was all part of the plan. They're not thinking a couple years ahead. in their plans. They're thinking 25 years ahead. Like they're strategizing. So they're like, okay, so we're going to, now they're all moved to Patreon. So now it's time to move this woman from Visa to PayPal to Patreon, whatever her story is. And so Sargon has, inspired a lot of people to think very differently about Patreon, the company. And listening to that conversation, it was quite amusing to hear V and Sargon's rendition of the Matt Christensen conversation with the woman from Patreon, when he assured her that he wasn't tape recording the conversation, yet he did a full transcription of the conversation and made it public knowledge. So that was funny. And to listen to this conversation was pathetic, because this is how successful people in high positions, what do you think she makes? What do you think she made at PayPal per year? These people have power. Woman, too. Powerless woman has power. This woman talks like she has the logic of a fucking teenager. I'm embarrassed for her. When she hears that conversation back, I would hope that she's terribly embarrassed. And this is a woman in a high position. This is a woman who was obviously outed every turn of this conversation and debunked and embarrassed. But this woman held her ground, and there's good reason. Because she didn't, in that conversation, even though she was stumbling over her words and she sounded like a total moron, there was one thing that struck me, and that is she had confidence, even when she was in the losing part of the argument. And her confidence comes from an assured monopoly. So this whole idea that Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson are going to get together, they just announced today that they're going to drop Patreon on the 15th in hopes that they were going to start a new like Patreon type thing. And you know that when everybody moved over to Subscriber Star, then PayPal dropped them. So this is in the pipeline. To me, I think the best part of Western society is the ability to express. So even though I'm conservative, I have liberal, I don't live like what I have tolerance for. So I have liberal ideas about how a world should be, but I like to live my life more conservatively. But I don't want everyone to be conservative. Like, I really appreciate, RuPaul's Drag Race and all the friends in Toronto that I used to hang out with back in the 80s when RuPaul was didn't do Drag Race, when he was beginning back in Chicago, when there was house music, and it was the deal. So I love this whole liberal outlook. Doesn't mean that I want to live that way, and I don't feel liberally about conservation. Like, I hate wastefulness. I hate inefficiency. So anyways, I will always fight for the idea that people should and must be different than me and voice it. And what I've noticed that's happening in mainstream between this left and right is just ridiculous. So there's going to be a bust. Like, this can't go on like this forever. So there's the flow and flop. Is it? Web and wane, to and fro. So we're just at one spectrum, and it will swing back. And if not, there will be some outburst because it's boiling. We all know it's boiling. Now I sound like Miranda. Boiling. I need to eat something. Thank you, ebb and flow. That's what I need, a little help here and there. Anyways, I should probably go and make food. I don't know. I'm a little, maybe I should just take a break and be back. Maybe take you guys downstairs. That's what I'll do. I'll see what you say in the chat. So I'm going to do this. I'll be back in 5 minutes, okay? I'm gonna turn my sound on at least. I'm like, no, somebody's here. Why wait for the dream? Why wait for a dream when you can just do it now? Why can't you do it just now? Why 25 years from now? You don't even know if you're going to be alive. Hmm. Somebody has a slow thinking computer. Yes, somebody does. I need to eat something. I want to make spinach dip. I think I have all the ingredients to make a nice espinaca dip. Espinaca is Spanish. Spinach for Spanish, Spanish for spinach. Yes, try again, my dear. So I think that we need to be looking up a nice spinach dip, right? What goes into a spinach dip? Who knows? Spinach, yes, that's right. What else? Olive oil, just 2 tablespoons. Okay, what else? Over medium heat. Stir in onion and garlic with the oil, brown it. Add spinach. Uh-huh. And 1 cup of milk. 6 ounces of cream cheese. Half a cup of shredded mozzarella. Cheddar cheese, Worcestershire, pepper, mozzarella. I don't see anywhere it says cream cheese. I have cream cheese and sour cream. I have onion, I have garlic, I have spinach, and I have cheddar. I don't have Worcestershire. I have pepper. I have no mozzarella. I have Parmesan. Mmm. That's what I'm going to do. Married with kids, so it's sustainable. Well, you know what? You're a lucky bugger. I have realized over the past few years, and also spending all this time on YouTube and discovering this whole like feminist issue, that I should have spent more time probably forging more feminine endeavors, like finding a suitable partner. Like I knew I knew to be a great mom, and I knew I wanted to be a mom, but I knew that I didn't want to be I knew being a single mom wasn't good for a kid. I felt that a child needed both the mother and the father. So I was going to wait for this perfect man to come along, and he never came. So the women that I know that made mistakes, like fucked the wrong guy, got pregnant, kept it, maybe it happened a few times, they have like the fullest lives. They have three different kids, 3 different men. That's like big, stupid, dumb woman making dumb mistakes. Oh, but she has 3 men that will always be in her life, that will always care that she's the mother of their child. 3 little beings that will always love them, always activity around the house, lives to watch grow when you're older. They're there to care for you. I mean, these are amazing life things that, because I thought making the correct choices would lead me to happiness. And I realized that often in life, making the wrong choices leads to happiness. So don't be so fucking careful all the time. And it took me, feel like a lifetime to learn that. Also, I think that the things that I cared about as a young woman that I thought were important, I don't think that men think those things are important in reality. Like as a dream, those things are nice, but not so important to a man when he's looking for a partner. And I didn't know that. So it's taking me this long to figure that out, that different things are important to men than I thought was important to have as a 20-year-old woman that I needed to work towards in order to have this perfect life that doesn't happen. So, oh, you see? Nice picture of me and Maria. Yeah, it looks like you didn't get in here, so there you go. The grass is not always greener. You are perfect as it is. No regrets for you. Oh, that's nice. It's not connecting. Well, it looks like I'm alone in here. You see, sometimes life just pushes you to be alone. And every turn that I make, whether it's the family that I was born to or men that I fall in love with, yeah, it's always shown to me that I'm pointed in a direction. It's like, no, you have to do this on your own, Elena. I'm like, oh, okay, okay. Don't know why I need to do this alone, and everybody that I look at has partnerships, but okay. So here I am, Um, I have all these like sunset moments because this place is beautiful, right? And then my place in Costa Rica is beautiful. And I'm like 2 seconds from the beach. I'm the same distance from the beach here as I am in my house in Costa Rica to the beach. So it's like really special. Um, and so like there's all these romantic moments where I can like hug myself and hold myself and pat myself in the back and be like, Elena, this moment is so beautiful. I hope that we remember it forever. And I'm like, yes, we will remember this moment forever. It's so romantic and so gorgeous. I'm so glad that we've had this moment to share together. And I'm like, yeah, me too. But then you don't really remember those times as well as you'd hope. Those times kind of like mush into each other and don't become distinct. Like there's all these markers like, oh, like marriage, anniversaries, and remember that Christmas and grade one, like graduation, like all these things that mark time. And for me, it's like, time? I'm like, recently, I'm like, oh my God, I have grays. Time. And then I'm like, oh fuck. Time's fast. Time's so fast. 25 years. Amazing. Just doing what you think is important to do, and then you're like, ooh, life changes. Was that important? Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm gonna make money. That's important. Work hard. Yeah, I guess. It's sweet, sweet ideas. Yeah. I'm hungry. Okay. I'll be back.
Okay. So what I've decided is I am going to get some food going downstairs, and I'm going to end this stream. And I think I'm going to edit a little bit of video tonight and get that last hike that I did up. At least as like a new video for the year. Possibly. Hope to do that today. And I'm going to start to paint the windowsill. But I might bring the computer down with me, so I might do another stream. But I'm going to end this one. It's so nice to have done this, to start the new year off. It's encouraging. Thank you for writing in the comments. And you guys have a great night if I don't come back, but I probably will. But it'll be with like a new background and maybe, probably not different attire, but whatever. A new background. Okay, bye.